great to be here. It's very important to me to be at an event like this. I'm very proud to wear these colors. Wish I'd gone here. I can testify that something that almost nobody would ever think. I have an uncle who is actually a Jesuit priest. Not only is he a Jesuit priest, but Friar Wozniak's jokes, volumes 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, are all good except number 4, I have to be honest. And this university had a great role in bringing the internet into my life. I'm not going to get into that discussion right now, but it's actually true. You're finishing, the most fun 4 years of your life the way I think. Or in my family, 5 or 6 or 16 years of your life. And I look back at pictures of my own graduation. I was one of the few that went back to school and got my degree. And I look back at it, and that's the most proudest day of my life. So you should all feel very proud of this, and that's probably how you'll feel in the future. Is a good life, what is a good life about? Is it having a lot of money? Is it making a lot of things work in the world? Is it directing people and running companies? And the other option, when I was young, I thought about it, and I said, well, what if I went around and just told jokes with friends and had good times like in college every day of my life? On the day of my death, which of those 2 lives would I have preferred? And always preferred to kind of, die with this happiness, And I don't want to run things with a formula or a structure. I want to kind of, go by what makes me feel good about what I'm doing. And if you're doing things for yourself, you always feel good. If you're doing things because somebody's paying you a salary or giving you a grade, you may not work so hard at it, but you always have these internal ideals, things you want to work on, and don't lose track of that. I came up with a formula because I'm a mathematics type person. H equals S minus F. Happiness, which is what life's about, is smiles minus frowns. Now, it sounds trivial. Thank you. And it sounds trivial. But the frowns is the key part of that. You can avoid having a type of life. You still have a little chance at your age to set your personality. It isn't frozen yet. And you can set yourself not to have incidents in your life where you are going to frown. Not having to care so strongly that if one team loses a match, you're going to be all upset and go into tears. You can actually think out ahead of time. I really want to have a life where I feel peaceful and I feel the good times that I had in college, Just think how many things have happened to you here. The friends you've made, the relationships you've had, so much development in your life, being on your own, learning how to be on your own. So remember that laughter is the best medicine. I modified that formula one year to H equals F cubed. Happiness equals food, fun, and friends. Food. The necessities of life. You know what? When you get out of here, you've got to look for a way to have an income. You've got to have some money to live on, or you can float around the world for a few years like a lot of great people do. I can think of friends of mine that did, and just sort of on nothing and find their way in the world. The second F is fun. Entertainment, things like movies and concerts and music. Music just enriches your heart so much and can tell you stories and teach you things about how you want to live your life and what your values want to be. I very often look to music for those kind of cues in life. And the third is friends. It includes family, but it's the people that you've been able to, your happiness means nothing unless it's in relationship to other people. What are some of the keys to happiness? It's different for every person. I wouldn't say that the keys that work for me are the ones that will work for you. But it's things like knowing who you are inside, who you are, and believing in that person, and remembering it through life, and saying today, it's a good person I am. And I have some good values and a good head on my shoulders, and I don't want to be corrupted by the successes I'm going to have in life and in business. I don't want to be corrupted and go in different ways. If I make a lot of money, I still want to be that good, pure human who thinks well. Like I said, don't set yourself up for those frowns, and you don't always have to win every single argument. You can think your way and believe in your thoughts are good in your own brain, and somebody else doesn't agree with you, that's okay. They just think a different way. There's no need to look at the world of, we've all got to be in competition. It's my way. Everyone has to be just like me or they're no good. They have to use my computer. They have to go to my school. They have to be my country, They have to do things my way. That's not the way to think. Be very open to a lot of different people have differences, and we can all still see each other as good, and we get along a lot better and have a lot more peace that way. Acceptance of others is the key. In this idea that life kind of that happiness is the important thing in life. Life is happiness, and I think life is so great a thing to have, and I have so much enjoyment in my own life. But every one of you, every single person in the world, is a participant in this game that I love so much called life. So when I walk through an airport, I look at every single person and I smile at them all, and they're all part of the life that gives me enjoyment. If one of them came up and pulled a gun on me, I would still feel he's a part of the game that I get to play, this wonderful game called life that has a lot of other outcomes. And it's a difficult way of thinking. I've thought this way my whole life, but it's like a sea that we're all in together. And of course, in that sea, you got a few Mount Everests, We've known a few of those. But you might want to, and some of you might want to be a Mount Everest. Some of you just might want to be an average, normal person as far as you go. How far you go in business is very often more based on anything else. It's based on how do people like you as a person. How do you get along? So be good to people, be nice, say the nice things, and you'll actually go further in the end. You can be quiet and reflexive and think things out in your head and keep all your ideas in your mental brain, as a virtual reality, and then turn them into reality for your company maybe. People don't have to see inside of you what's going on, but be nice to others and be considerate, and don't make them feel bad. You don't have to. Intelligence, we're taught our whole lives up to this point that intelligence is learning a lot of things and having the same answers as everyone else. Watching the same TV shows, knowing what's going on in the world, but it's the same, you're seeing the same broadcasters to every single one of you, and the answer that's right is the same answer as everyone else, but it's not your answer. That's the difference between information and thinking, information and analysis. You know that how important it is to think for yourself. You've been told that. You've been doing a lot of it here in the university. But when you get out there in the field, you're often scared to. I'm only going to come up with answers that are in a book. The answers that I know, this is the sort of answers people come up with, no matter what my field. And I'm going to design things that other people designed. And I'm not going to go out and be different. I love this group today that's graduating. Look, I've never seen such a colorful assortment. To me, it's signs of, hey, man, you know what? I can think independently. And I love that. And that's where creativity comes from. And that's where really the futures, and somehow improving this world that needs a lot of improvement, is going to come from you. Your actions, you should always feel in life and in your jobs, your actions are somehow have a good purpose behind them. They better the world in some way. Don't ever do something just because it's an assignment. You better believe that there is some end goal that is good for the world. Almost every new invention and computer and all came about from those ideals. I mean, I really wanted to help the world communicate so much. Other people inspired me into a revolution. I wanted to be a part of changing things. I wanted to be a part of better education. I wanted to be a part of the young person having so much mastery over technology and be able to do things they never could before. Those were the goods that were pushing me. It was almost, without those goods, I wouldn't have even designed a computer. Now, on the road, world peace is one of the big things that comes about in our life, and we're bothered all the time by headlines and news stories, and those are those things that will give us, frowns, and we've got to worry about the states of the economy and all this. Well, on the way to peace, it's always good to understand other people. Don't think everybody's the enemy. You've got to meet people firsthand. You've got to talk to them. Personal diplomacy, and break down a lot of the reasons that some people have to create propaganda and make it sound like you've got to be afraid of others, and just because they're different in some way. There can be different people that are very good in your own life. Truth is the apex of everything that's good. That's a formula I came up with for myself. Truth. Always tell the truth. Be honest. You only say things one time. It represents who you are as a person. Be open. I decided I was going to be very open. I was going to share a lot of my life and what I did, even if it was bad, with my parents, because then I wouldn't do really horrible things that I didn't believe in. Even if I did something that was against the law, at least I could say, well, I speed, but I think it's right. I have a reason. An easy example. The truth at least only comes out of your mouth one way. You've all got your robes today, and you're about to fly with them. And there's this song that I thought of, and it's about kind of an 8-year-old kid who puts a robe around his neck and goes up on the roof and runs and jumps off the roof right to the ground. And here's a line from the song. It's by Clara. Well, he's one of those who knows that life is just a leap of faith. Spread your wings and hold your breath, and always trust your cape. That little thought is a metaphor for what you're going to go through over and over and over in life. And you're going to have risks that you have to take. You've got to jump, and you've got to trust your cape, and you've got to trust yourself. We had a lot of naysayers that said Apple wasn't the right thing, wasn't going to work, it wasn't being done the right normal way. You know, we thought a little bit differently. Another line from that song. He did not know that he could not fly, so he did. Thank you very much.